Good news, everyone! Episode 2 of the HXC is here. I'm your host, Kyle. Most of you know me as Sophist. We've got a lot to talk about this week. We've been absent, most notably, I guess, for the last 2 or 3 weeks, and a lot has happened. We're going to cover the same normal things. We've got someone had an announcement. I heard that there's this con on the West Coast we'll be talking about. There was a press release. Apparently WoW's dead, so this will be a short thing. And patch 5.3 was released. But first, let's introduce my two co-hosts. We have our lady friend co-host, Indy Angela Garona.
Angela Garona.
Angela Garona. Yeah, that one.
You're renaming me.
I'm trying. It's just, it's what I do.
It's good. You guys can call me whatever you want. It's good to be here.
What have you been up to in our hiatus that we managed to take after the first episode?
Well, oddly enough, it seems like all three of us kind of have been away for a couple of weeks, and in my case, it was just because I was, part of the bonus of being a hardcore casual gamer is that you can have a life, and I was doing that.
Oh.
I was focusing on my business, and if you guys didn't already know, I am a photographer outside of, being a complete and total geek online. So, yeah, I was enjoying a lot of that. I had a lot of bookings, and it's been good.
Yeah, it was good to hear that you finally got your, well, not finally, but you did, your photography business has been kind of taken off lately. That's really cool.
It's been a long time coming.
Well, you work at it. Next, I guess we have the guy that most of you already know, pet battle extraordinaire, the perpetually dead Xizta. Or Dom. How are you?
I'm still recovering from last weekend.
Yeah, I heard you went somewhere, and you met up with some people. Is that one of the places you've been recently?
Yeah, actually, you were there. Was it that bad of a weekend? Did you forget going?
I heard somewhere that it was, quote, the worst weekend ever.
Yeah, that's a direct quote from Lore, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I believe he tweeted, "Hanging out with Xizta, worst day ever."
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, so for those of you that don't know, me and Xizta have been in months behind for God knows how long, and they do a thing. I think it's usually once a year, and we haven't been able to make it until this year, and we both went up and had a lot of blast.
Second annual, so we only missed one. We didn't miss that many.
Well, I know they've done get-togethers before, but I guess this is the second big one. It was a lot of fun meeting a lot of those guys in person for the first time, and you realize that they're just as cool in real life as they are the people that you play with in game. So
yeah, it was really good to finally be able to put some faces to the voices that we've heard for, in some cases, 8+ years.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out next year, but we do still have BlizzCon to look forward to.
This is true. Unfortunately, I'll probably get slapped at BlizzCon too.
Oh, we should make that a thing.
Slapping Xizta everywhere.
Slapping Xizta. And instead of walking up to him and trying to shake his hand, just walk up to him and smack him.
Oh no. No. I will just lie on the floor as the corpse that I am, in the fetal position, never to get up again.
That's probably for the best.
Oh man. Well, in case you guys didn't notice, last week we felt like it was a little bit stiff, and we were kind of not ourselves, so we were kind of going a little more off the cuff this week and trying to make it less of a rigid thing, which is good, I think.
Yes, I told these guys not to be so stiff.
Well, that's tough.
But we'll do our best.
So, you guys have anything else that you guys did while you were gone that we want to talk about?
Well, I mean, you guys had the more exciting weekend. My stuff was just business as usual, but in general, if we were extremely hardcore raiding or tied to our desks, we wouldn't have been able to go out and have a life outside the game. So that's we do have that from time to time, and that's what the bonus of the way that we play is that we can do that.
I saw the new Star Trek movie.
Oh,
I thought it was good. I saw that. Yeah,
I'm not a Star Trek fan at all. That was actually the first anything of Star Trek that I've watched, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. I'm gonna have to go back and watch some of the older stuff now.
Not to derail things too much, because I know I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for this one, but, the new Fast and Furious just came out,
Yes, I've actually, I want to see that one as well as Hangover Part 3.
Absolutely. There's some good stuff out there, so.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
I can't believe you're not a Xizta. We almost can't be friends anymore. That you weren't a Star Trek fan.
I'm sorry, I'm not either. I'm
Oh,
Star Wars.
What is this?
When I
I'm
was
Star Wars.
younger, there was the whole Star Wars versus Star Trek, and you could not be fans of both. And sci-fi has evolved quite a lot since then, and that's not the case anymore. I just never went back to watch them.
I still feel in my heart though that you can't.
We all know.
You can't have both. You have to pick one that you love more.
If you're gonna pick one, we all know that Stargate is the correct one to pick. So I don't.
We do?
I don't even. Yes, you can't beat Richard Dean Anderson and Daniel Jackson. Oh, Stargate. That's my jam. Anyways, before we go completely down the rabbit hole, I guess we should move on to our the weekly lore segment.
Yay!
No, not lore the person. This would be lore the lore.
So Story time. We unlocking the final chevron?
Yes. No, we're locking in the final chevron, and we are headed to the deadmines this week.
Which you guys were both Horde your entire WoW careers, right? So I'm probably the only one who experienced this during when it was a thing.
Yeah,
I definitely ran it to get the cookie cutter, the rolling pin weapon.
Yeah, Cookie's tenderizer.
Yeah, so that was the experience I got with it, was running it at level 60.
Yeah, no, Horde. I did it actually at level, but that was because I was a little more adventurous when I was leveling. I didn't really know what I was supposed to be doing. I heard there was a place. I went there, but it was not a thing that Horde did a lot. So yes, we don't know as much from early time period as you do. But
I just remembered winding through the caverns trying to find the actual instance portal was always the worst.
Yeah, that when you very first started going down there was a pain.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, where is this thing? Oh wait, I have to go inside this building first, and then go follow these tunnels, and then get lost in this maze.
Yeah, and you're in Alliance territory, so if you did it at level, you were it was a pretty scary thing. So, where do we start? I guess we start at the beginning, and maybe with who the original instance was revolving around, and that would be Edwin Van Cleef, right?
Yeah, and you guys actually, when we were digging through, found out some really interesting bits of information about this guy that I didn't even know.
Yeah, apparently he was a stonemason, and had done things after the Second War, which I'm not too familiar with, but after the Second War.
The Second War is basically just when the orcs invaded from Draenor into Azeroth.
Okay, so after that, he was charged with helping to build Netherguard Keep out in the Blasted Lands.
From what I understand, that was just kind of to watch over the Dark Portal to make sure there was no more activity from it.
Mm-hmm. So he did that, and then he came back and helped rebuild Stormwind.
Yeah, and they didn't pay him?
They didn't pay him and all the stonemasons what they were promised, I believe. So he rioted. And then something happened. Indy, you were saying something about the Queen of Stormwind, correct? I don't know too much about it because, like you said, I've never leveled an Alliance character.
Dom read that she was murdered, and playing the game and starting as an Alliance, I know, hang my head in shame. I am very sorry, everyone, that I started out that way, but I did. And I started as a human mage, and you just never saw the Queen of Stormwind, and if you didn't actually dig back and find out what happened, you just knew that she just wasn't there. It was the king and his son. And so you guys found out that, Van Cleef had something to do with it, because when they rioted, she was murdered, and then he left and went into hiding, never to be seen, again, essentially, but he essentially started that Defias Brotherhood.
Okay, and so the Deadmines ends up being this place where it was abandoned earlier in the history, and then seen as being haunted. So it ended up being this perfect place for the Defias Brotherhood to go hang out, where no one would bother them, and they could do what they need to do, and try and get revenge on Stormwind, I think is the ultimate goal, but they also are making money, helping build things.
So what you're trying to say here is that this is basically Ragefire Chasm all over again.
No, it's not.
Hiding behind the Troggs so they could make their uprising against Orgrimmar.
Troggs?
No Troggs. No Troggs here. I was very disappointed. There's kobolds
instead of Troggs, they're hiding behind the ghosts. It's the exact same thing.
Sort of. I guess. I could see that, but it's not as cool because there's not Troggs. They would, yeah. No.
The quest lines leading up to the deadmines, though, were pretty cool. Like, the things that you had to do before you got into the instance were really cool, and I enjoyed the instance when I was at that level.
Okay, so you got to... Where was it now? Was this in Westfall? Is that a place? Yeah, that's my Alliance knowledge.
That's on the Eastern Kingdoms, right?
Yes. And at about level 15, I guess. I think that it was ultimately targeted for 18, but you could still go through and do all these quests that you would have to, as far as finding out more about the Defias Brotherhood.
Oh, okay.
And you guys also figured out, which I'm sure we'll jump to after talking out the original instance, is the end boss of the new Deadmines instance has a lot to do with the people who give you your first quest.
It's true.
In Westfall.
So, what happens to Edwin through the years? Like, after we've run the original Deadmines, how does the story end up? I know he's got all his people in there helping him. Oh, so he's beheaded, and his daughter sees this, correct?
She witnesses his murder, yes.
That's unfortunate. So...
And it also should be mentioned that nobody knows who her mother is because, Van Cleef he just probably had a different lady every day.
Oh, so it was his daughter out of wedlock.
His daughter out of wedlock.
I never saw that he was married.
No, he had no time for marriage. He was just, Oh,
he just had the ladies. Okay.
Yeah. So she was orphaned, but raised by the Saldine couple, Farmer and Salma Saldine. And if you're Alliance and you remember going from Elwyn Forest into Westfall, they're the first people you encounter, and they tell you to help their little cow.
Oh, they had a sick cow?
They had a cow named Blanchy.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Blanchy. Wasn't that the name of a horse?
No, you're thinking of... Oh, God, I am such a nerd. You're thinking of Bessie out in it was Burning Crusade.
I thought that was a cow.
Bessie was the cow.
It was a ghost cow.
Which is like a horse.
I thought Blanchy was the horse that Thrall rode in the Caverns of Time dungeon.
I don't think that horse had a name. It's a horse with no name, Dom.
Yeah. And I might add, without getting...
We'll find out.
I'll add, without getting too off base, that Thrall on a horse just did not look right.
Yeah, that was interesting.
So back to come, episode number 537.
Yeah, when we get there. So then you run back through the new Deadmines, and you have Vanessa Van Cleef, or her name was Hope, I think? Was that her orphan name?
I guess the Saldines gave her that name, Hope, because, they probably saw her as something they could rescue. But, she does become Vanessa Van Cleef, and she swears to avenge her father.
Okay.
She was only available in the heroic mode for Cataclysm, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. The end boss before her would have been Cookie, if you did it on normal. Captain Cookie.
Cookie.
Cookie's from the original as well, right?
Yeah, and you didn't have to kill Cookie in the original. Cookie was like the optional boss, and Cookie was the Murloc, the pink Murloc, I believe, that walked around the ship waving that rolling pin.
Yeah. I think he was the one that I killed to get the double rolling pins back in the day.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, I used to beat people up naked with those rolling pins and just kill them while stun locked. They never even got a chance.
Well, then, yes, that was Cookie.
Oh, man. I'm going through, as we're talking, the Wowpedia, and Cookie has a pretty sweet line in here. We have Cookie proclaimed himself captain of the Defias Brotherhood's Juggernaut following its previous commander's death, although he still performs his official duties as chef and cook. Anyone who questions the validity of this captain title has been known to become down with severe case of food poisoning.
Ew.
Oh my god. So who was the original captain? Wasn't it like a little goblin or something?
Greenskin, and he was a goblin, and Captain Greenskin was the one that I had to kill over and over again to get my Emberstone staff. And
Ooh.
Captain Greenskin was the last guy you ran into before Van Cleef. He was like on the second highest platform of the ship.
Alright, yeah.
Wasn't there Torin on there as well? I thought there was like a Torin guard, if I remember correctly.
Smite, Mr. Smite, and he dropped the axe.
Mr. Smite. He's the first mate.
Torin, our horde. Why was he working with the Alliance?
So are goblins.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
That I don't know.
You're asking me things I do not know.
Maybe he may have been part of the Grim Totem clan, possibly.
You're beyond us there. We're casuals there, Chief. All I see under him is his status is deceased, so he might be related to you.
Whoa! Everybody who's dead is not my ancestor.
Just because of their deceased status.
Yeah, I mean, so this one they haven't done they just did the heroic remake in Cataclysm, correct? They haven't done anything with this since then?
No.
Well, Mr. Smite, I don't know if you know, Indy, but there's actually a rare in Pandaria where if you kill him, he drops Mr. Smite's compass.
I've been trying to get it.
It's a brass compass.
Yes.
That's funny.
What exactly does it do?
It makes the emote happen. It's really cool, and every time I kill that thing, I get a stupid-ass cape that I DE, and I'm still waiting for the trinket.
What was so good about the emote? Like, I just wasn't there at the time, so I don't remember it at all.
It's like, you have the one from... Don't you have the one from Dr. What's-his-face's?
Stratholm, the Dr. Kevorkian lookalike suit?
Yeah, something like that. No, there's one that's got an emote to it, and it's just cool because it's an instance that I remember from a long time ago, and I just wanted it for that. There's really nothing special about it other than that.
The guy just runs out and he's like, hey, look at this noise.
Yeah, you there, check out that noise. That's
on
it.
a 2-hour
We're under
cooldown.
attack.
Really?
Yeah, because okay, so yeah, that's another thing about deadmines that I wanted to say because it was really funny. Before they fixed it, you could have there was one little thing, and it was a quest. It was like a unique item, so there's just one. As you got to that door that separated your instance group from the ship, you had to blow the doors open, or have a rogue with high enough level to pick the door. So sometimes you would get in these groups where there would be one asshole who picked up the powder, or a rogue, the only person who could pick the door, would pick up the powder and lock your group from finishing the instance.
Ooh.
Because you, at that point in time, you couldn't just teleport. Well, you could hearth out, but you couldn't just right click, leave dungeon.
That thing was on like a half hour to an hour cooldown back then, wasn't it?
What, the gunpowder?
No, your Hearthstone.
Well, the Hearthstone, yeah, it used to be an hour, and the gunpowder did not respawn. Like, if somebody picked it up, that was it.
You are so lucky that I wasn't Alliance back then, because I totally would have just picked it up and hearthed every time.
I know. But it was interesting because that was like the last thing that happened before that Smite would emote. So that's why I just thought of it.
So now there were like a whole bunch of goblins in the original Deadmines, right?
Yeah.
There still are in the new one. They work together to help build the ship and mine the gold. I believe it's the gold because it was a really productive mine before, I believe.
Yeah.
Is that where that we were talking about? What's his name? Major Johnson. Oh, Minor Johnson. Major
Johnson. Yeah, I don't know much about him other than he's a miner.
He was just a rare spawn.
Wasn't he sought after by twinks? I think I remember Toadfist, because Toadfist is really into the twink scene. I believe he mentioned it to me a few times.
Yeah, him, and there was another mob in Twinks wanted stuff off of from I can't remember the instance now because it was a horde at the time. It was like mostly a horde instance.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it might be the cape, the miner's cape. Might have been a twink thing. The Wailing Caverns also had a lot of twink items, but that might be next week.
And the original boss was an ogre, right? He was the foreman, the very first one.
Boss. Yep.
Yeah, Rankzor, I think, right?
Roxor, and he was the one who would tell you that Van Cleef will pay big for your heads.
Yeah, I was actually reading something earlier on the Wowpedia page that had mentioned that the deadmines were originally back in Warcraft 1 invaded by ogres, and it is thought that maybe Rankzor could possibly have survived from the first war, been left over, but complete speculation. But I thought that was kind of interesting.
Well, he
could have survived that long.
He's like alone in his ogreness down there.
Well, isn't there a new ogre down there now?
I'm talking about the first instance, though. He stuck out like a sore thumb, so...
Yeah, I don't know if he's in the new one. I didn't see him.
Yes, the first boss in a new one is an ogre. But is it the same ogre?
No, it is Glubtok.
Glub, that's right. I'm like back and forth here between
he's a two-headed mage ogre.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Well, I think we've basically talked ourselves into a circle here and things that we don't know much about.
Right.
Deadmines
was good stuff, and if you didn't do it when it was current, it's definitely worth looking at in its heroic state because they didn't really change the layout as much as they did just the bosses.
I do remember going through it and liking it the first couple times. And then after that, I remember the heroic just being like, oh, it's too long. And
I really like the Fell Reaver encounter that they added, though.
Yeah.
I thought that one was kind of cool. And the whole Vanessa's poisoning your mind, and I thought that was kind of cool, that whole sequence.
I thought that was fun the first time, and then after that, I was done with that.
That's why people stopped liking it, I think.
Yeah.
And I think they just kind of added the Worgen dude in there just to make it feel like Cataclysm. I don't think there's any real reason for him to be in there.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean the storyline is actually pretty cool. I did not realize that Edwin Van Cleef had such a long history, like that he was part of rebuilding Stormwind, and there was a reason for him breaking off. So that was cool to read. I did enjoy that.
The one final question I have for you guys is: there was this big pirate ship just sitting down at the bottom of this lake, but there didn't seem to be any clear entrance or exit. So what was their plan on getting this ship out of this cave?
There was an exit. It was right. The exit to that instance is right on the ocean there.
The exit was through a portal that you climb back out of the rocks, but I didn't see any way for the ship to get out.
Well, they would have had to have... I mean, it was not far from the ocean, but they would have had to have done a lot of blasting.
Yeah, there were goblins there.
Oh, this is true.
They like explosions.
Yeah, they would have had to have blasted.
We'll talk about that later.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yep. So that's that, I guess. We should probably head into the news, which we have a pretty good amount of, but a lot of it's old news, so we'll just kind of glance over it, and then we'll get into the recent release of patch 5.3 and some of the new stuff, some of the things that we've done just to check out the new things to see what it's all about and how it's been implemented. So first, I guess this guy that we know, I guess he got a job at some company doing things with people. I know stuff about there's blue text involved. So does anyone know anything about this?
Yeah, Blizzard. That would be Blizzard had this weird obsession with hair.
Crazy idea.
They just really like this guy's hair, and I think that they wanted to do some what is it? The motion capture for his hair. I think that's why they right.
I don't think our technology is quite there yet, but
no,
maybe ambitious, but we'll see. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know by now and have been living under a rock or in a hole, or maybe you've been in a coma for the last month or so, our friend Lore, after years of pretty hard work and a lot of really cool and good content got rewarded, and now he's going to be going off to work at Blizzard, which is awesome for him. That's big congratulations out to Lore.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
It's a great story. It's like the Cinderella story, except not the Cinderella.
Yeah.
But no, coming from somebody who was picked up by a gaming company like that produced gaming videos, it is extremely hard to make something out of what he's done, and to see that happen is extremely awesome, and it's like so well deserved, because he definitely was one of the pioneers for a lot of the different WoW shows that we now know to be, well, he's not going to do them anymore, which is kind of a bummer, but we've enjoyed them for so long that I think it definitely paved the way for a lot of the newer broadcasters.
I also think that I think that they might have hired Lore or Josh specifically with that kind of idea in mind, that maybe that they can start doing stuff like that, utilizing his skills to bring information to us in a whole new way. Because I know just recently Gamebreaker.tv has done a live video interview with Ghostcrawler and I think it was Brian Halinka, I want to say. Yeah. And that was like their first video interview ever. So I think they're kind of heading in that direction, and who better to get on their team than the pioneer of getting video content out to the community.
Yeah, and I think things like that, I think they finally realized that it's much easier for someone to sit down and watch a video and take 5-10 minutes, and especially with someone that has some charisma and already a reputation with the Blizzard community. They'll be familiar with him, and I don't know if that's where they're going, but it would make sense, and I think Blizzard would be doing a good thing if they did that. It's much easier to have someone sit there and tell you what's going on than to say, here's a 15-page notepad document, read what we've done. People are lazy. I don't like reading that. They converted
over into blue text just to make it seem like it wasn't done in WordPad.
Yeah, it's blue now, so it's official. No, I don't. I mean, I'm lazy. I don't want to read that. I barely read our show notes.
I agree, and I couldn't be happier for him, coming from somebody who, for a good couple of solid years there, I threw 100% into trying to get somewhere. It's not easy, and he definitely put everything he had into it, and you know, despite the fact that he hates priests, I'm still extremely happy for him, and I wish him all the best.
Yeah, definitely. I have edited a few videos to be on the lookout for, since this is airing on Wednesday, one of which has already debuted on After Dark, and that would be the evolution of Lore's hair. And that video it speaks for itself. Like, if you have not seen it, there will be a link on our Twitter to check this video out, and the next one you'll just have to wait and see. It will debut hopefully on Legendary, Lore's last show.
All right, yeah, that's another thing that we've been doing as of recently. We've been trying to get other content out besides the podcast, which is another reason that we were kind of busy over the last 3 weeks. We've been tossing around ideas, coming up with some other things to do. So be on the lookout for some of that as well. Aside from that, if you were lucky enough to be waiting in line for BlizzCon tickets, they were on sale for all of like 20 minutes. And hopefully you'll be excited to hear that the three of us will all be attending in November.
Yay!
Yeah, I don't know what everybody's big I couldn't get tickets were. I got into the queue both days and got tickets on both days.
There was a couple of minutes there where he was livid. I was actually afraid for my life through the phone when he was disconnected while in queue.
I had enough sense as soon as I noticed my internet went out, which was almost immediately, that I turned my Wi-Fi hotspot on and connected my computer to it and hoped that it stayed in line in the queue, which it did, thank God.
Wow, that's some quick thinking. That's impressive.
Or maybe there were cookies.
So there's that. We did get tickets to that. We do plan on going out for the entire weekend, maybe a little longer. If we can get everything working by then, which I don't see why we wouldn't, and get it set up, we'll try and do live recordings while we're out there. Maybe every night, maybe just do one big one. It depends on what our schedules look like, but we're starting to toss around ideas now, so that should be fun. It would give us a good chance to meet a lot of people that we haven't met. And
I know we've also kind of been tossing around at some point, maybe possibly doing video to the podcast, so I know we have a Twitch account under HXC, so maybe by then we'll be even ready to do like a quick video blog or something that we'd share with everybody.
Yeah. So BlizzCon tickets. Hooray! Oh, actually, Indy, you had some fun times with your BlizzCon tickets recently with the names going on them.
Yeah, I'm going to have to figure out how to get one of those custom little badge inserts because my name will not be on my badge. And it's fine because people, they pretty much know me that, because I look like a total dork. But aside from that, my name is not on the ticket because the attendee information was not edited in time. And that's because those of you that know me know Mr. Indy is a slacker and he doesn't listen to me. And his computer just happened to connect to the front of the queue before mine. Therefore, his Battle.net account held the tickets. Therefore, all of this mess. So yeah, if you see me walking around BlizzCon, you might see my name scribbled onto my badge because it's not printed, and I'm going to be so sad.
I still think it's better to be known as a nerd than as a corpse.
Well, we're going to have to find some interesting things for you at BlizzCon because I think definitely people will be seeking you out. And
it's true.
We may even have to make sure people don't try to slip you funny drinks and stuff.
Oh.
I'm worried for you.
I got Sophist to watch my back.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. You guys are rooming together, right? So you've got a round the clock bodyguard.
What's up? He did a real good job watching me at MBCon.
Yes, I did.
And
we can't all be as cool and awesome and as tough as me. So
you let me get slapped by Rickatron.
That's true.
I think anybody would.
That was fun for all of us.
My face still hurts.
Okay.
Can I slap you at BlizzCon?
Ooh,
no.
Please?
No.
I think we should just put this out there right now. We'll just say it. If people tweet that they want to see me slap you, then I get to slap you. But if more people tweet that they want to see you slap me, I will let you slap me.
Whoa.
I am
it just got real.
Wow.
I guarantee
speechless.
it's going to be me smacking him.
Wow. I'm already getting
Probably
slapped by
true.
Ozai. I have a slap bet in place with
God.
Ozai. When
this is going to be so much fun.
When not this patch, but the patch before that, when that launched, we had a bet to see who would get one of the dinosaur mounts first. And Ozai won 3 days in. He ended up getting one of the Triceratops to drop. And the part that pained me the most is an hour later, I got my Triceratops mount. And I was so mad. And he's not going to hold back. I'm going to have a welt. Oh my god, I'm gonna see if I could get it done on the last day of BlizzCon so I could not have a handprint on my face through photos with everybody.
That'll be the best.
That'll be so good.
Alright, so BlizzCon tickets, Xizta getting slapped, and Indy is gonna be known as someone else at BlizzCon.
I just won't have a name on my badge, but I'm going to figure out a way to get one of those little custom inserts made so I can throw it in there.
Just put Vanessa Van Cleef on there.
Yeah.
Vanessa. I'll be Vanessa.
You could be Hope.
Aw.
So then we have this quick thing. I don't know, those of you there's another thing that happened while we were gone. The Activision press release that basically said that WoW is dead, right? Is that what happened? It lost that many subscribers that it just can't possibly go on.
Supposedly all those subscribers were in China.
Yeah, so they're not. It's not dying. I know the most of them were from China, and China doesn't. I believe they don't even pay Blizzard that much, so they weren't making too much money because
they pay by the hour. Yeah,
yeah, and
that's weird.
It's not even paid to Blizzard because Blizzard doesn't host the servers, I believe, over there. So they don't get like any money from that market, which is.
On kind of an off-related note, I think it's funny that when you die over, because I would know about this because I'm Mr. Death, but when you die over there, you don't have a corpse on the ground. You have like a little tombstone that pops up. I know there was a screenshot floating around for a while for Undasta, and people, like all the people that were dead, it just looked like this giant, massive graveyard because there is so many tombstones everywhere.
All right, so I think that does it for all the like off-topic-ish. I guess not off-topic, but news things. But the big thing that happened very recently would be patch 5.3 was finally released this past Tuesday, which means that we have what's the escalation. We now have heroic scenarios. We've got new pets, which is big for someone here.
For Indy?
What else happened? Yeah, Indy's huge into the pets. Yeah, no, the day that the patch released, I try and get you to go do something, Xizta. I'm like, hey, let's go check out these heroic scenarios, or
like we did last night.
Yeah, and he's like, no, I can't. Why? I'm trying to complete an achievement. Oh, well, how long is it going to take?
Or he's taming a new pet.
The achievement's called Longest Day Ever. It's to do every single pet achievement or whatever. Yeah,
you had to fight all the pet battle trainers in one day.
Yeah, this is what we have to deal with.
Yeah, we're trying to do a heroic scenario, and he's out there doing pet battles for 30 minutes, and he's like, "Oh, I'll be done soon.
Yeah,
you did get your Velcro pet, which is cool.
Yes, my unborn Velcro.
Yep, that was a pretty cool pet. I liked seeing that.
No, but I'm definitely going to be naming that Valkyr. I'm going to be naming it Indy very, very shortly.
Oh, because I have wings and they have wings.
And you're made of Velcro.
And you resurrect the dead, which is me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So what else? What else happened in this 5.3 that was pretty big? I know I'm missing stuff now.
We ran the heroic scenarios, and the two that we ran were not challenging in the slightest. So people who are wondering about these, wondering if it's going to be like a heroic 5-man or anything, I just don't see them being even close to. Although, I don't know, I guess depending on the level of gear and player.
And the class makeup. I think when you have a healer or when you have a tank, it becomes a lot easier.
It was incredibly easy to make timers and such for the achievements because I was smite spamming. But I guess, that would weigh heavily on it. But yeah, they were okay. Nothing too exciting. The Rage Fire one we all enjoyed because we were looking for the Troggs.
They're not there. They're there. I'm going to find them. I know
they're not there. They're not. They're gone. Be. They are eradicated.
They're not gone.
He's got to search the place fully before.
There were proto Drake eggs in there, which I still don't know what they were doing down there.
Because you needed an egg yolk. Because you needed an egg yolk for a bomb.
Well, it said something when I was clicking it, but Indy's like, I don't want anything to do with the lore, so I'm just going to click everything. And I'm like trying to read it, and it said something about Garrosh holding proto Drake eggs down there for some reason, and the text went away before I could finish reading it. So, so thank you for that, Indy.
You're welcome. I'm like, yes, click all of the things.
Yeah, we click all the things. We put him. He builds a bomb. He uses a pool pony.
The pool pony was the best.
It was cool. I liked it. I enjoyed it. You had to be a goblin through the thing, which is a little weird. Not a huge fan of being a goblin. But
whoa.
Yeah, I was never a huge fan of turning your player into something that you didn't want to be.
But I'm a goblin.
But it seems that through the years they've done that anyway, so.
So there's that. That one was a lot of fun. And it was cool to be back in like Ragefire, which is it was just different. It was the first I would say first scenario that I actually really enjoyed. But maybe it's just because I was in there with you guys and
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
It was tiny. It took place in like one main room, but it was cool.
We did the what was the other one we did?
Oh, the Pandaria one was dumb.
Yeah, they punted me off mountains. I didn't like it.
You got kicked off the side of a cliff, but other than that, it was just kind of...
It's fine. Indy's gonna life grip me.
That was the one where you have to defend the brew at the beginning. That was actually a normal scenario, and it was kind of cool to see what they changed in the heroic mode. They added like little fire that the mobs would throw, and it would stay on the ground. It wouldn't even disappear when they left. It would just keep piling up, so you kind of had to keep moving and stuff like that. That was kind of cool. But I didn't think it was challenging enough. I guess it wasn't supposed to be too hard, but we made the timer with like almost a minute to spare killing the boss.
Yeah,
at least.
Yeah, it helped with Indy Smite spamming, and me and you can do some decent damage on those characters. So
yeah, I guess it's tuned around possibly having one tank, one DPS, one healer. I guess they can't make the timer too DPS intensive.
I don't think it's tuned. From what I heard, they were saying it's tuned so that you can do it with 3 DPS.
Well, that's what I mean. The timer would be tuned to do with at least one of every makeup. The timer specifically, not the instance.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I mean, the heroic scenarios seem a lot of, like, they're far more fun than they used to be. Before, I ran 2 or 3 and was like, nope, I just face roll through here. This is not fun. I'm done. And I'd rather do the 5-mans, which there weren't a lot of. So it was kind of... They've done a lot to help give us some content that's not LFR, which is awesome.
If you look where the scenarios started to where they are now, especially if that Ragefire one is any indication on what they're heading for next expansion, I'm going to enjoy scenarios quite a bit more.
Yeah, I did like it. And I think it's more fun than doing the challenge modes, because the challenge modes are... I guess I could see how they would be fun. We did do one, and it was definitely challenging, but I think there needed to be something not quite as difficult as that.
Yeah, I think I have a silver medal in one of them, and a bronze in another.
Yeah, and it hits the sweet spot. That's not as challenging as that, but it's not as face roll as the first scenarios, where I could literally just sit my dog on my lap and let her push buttons and probably get through it fine.
That could be dangerous, though. Did you ever see there was a clip somewhere, Lore walked away from his keyboard?
Yeah, his dog killed his character. He dismounted him while he was way up high. It's adorable.
My dog likes me,
laughed
though.
for
That dog
hours
is
at
awesome.
that video.
So there's that. Then the actual escalation part of this is, have you guys done the quest chain up to what is going to, I would assume, be the Siege of Orgrimmar?
Not yet, because I slacked, but I will.
Oh, bummer. All right, well, it's actually pretty cool. I took the time since we've been doing this, I've been taking the time to actually read things, as opposed to just clicking and going, come on. And I did read, it's all, like, Vol'jin is down there in Sen'jin Village. You go down there and you help him out by doing various quests, and then he sends you to the Barrens to collect a whole bunch of quest items, which can be time consuming. I got a group of 3 or 4 people, and we just ran around and we killed the commanders, which drop a bunch of stuff, and then while they weren't up, we just wiped out a whole section of the Barrens quests, and it didn't take too long to get it done. But it really kind of builds up this thing where the Horde are not happy with Garrosh at all, and it's looking like his time is probably coming to an end very shortly.
Yeah,
I mean, he led a whole, what was it, the Krokron attack on Sen'jin Village itself, and then again on Razor Hill. Yeah, so this is Vol'jin getting back. I know Thrall goes back to Orgrimmar against Vol'jin's wishes to try and get support from other orcs there. Then you have Stormstout there. I don't really know what he's doing there, but he's a panda, and he's there, and he's helping.
He's a panda. Yep.
Not really sure.
He helped in Warcraft 3, didn't he? I never played Warcraft 3. I need to go back and play those. I know we were just talking about that, Sophist. Yeah,
I will go back so I can learn a little bit more.
Are there any
Right now we're very casual when it comes to lore.
Are there any Troggs out there?
I didn't see any.
Oh.
No, but they're coming. They're biding their time. They'll get here.
Are they going to be the ones that form the uprising against
They're
Garrosh?
an uprising.
Yeah, no. No, see, Vol'jin is just the veil. Like that's the hide. They're hiding behind Vol'jin and this uprising now. And then when they go over and take over Orgrimmar, the Troggs will come out and they'll do their thing.
Are they going to pull Garrosh
Troggs
into the ground?
Yes. Yeah.
It'll be like Boba Fett in the Sarlacc pit.
Mm-hmm. They're just going to push him down into Ragefire, and all the Troggs will get their revenge.
Like a horde of zombies just like ripping him apart.
And they'll all roar out in unison.
Yep.
I really hope the Vol'jin, like, I'd like to see him as war chief, and I hope they don't use him as like a red herring, like distraction, and then all of a sudden the blood elf dude, Lorthamir or whatever his name is, just comes out of nowhere and it's like, I'm the war chief. Or he wouldn't sound like that. He'd be like, I'm the war chief. Or that, I guess that's more goblin. I'm terrible at voices.
You're getting there. Pretty close. Just keep trying.
No, I'm done there.
I think, I'll be more of a fan of Vol'jin if they fix the male troll model so that it doesn't look like a... I don't even know. I hate that model. Like, if they just fix it, trolls will be fine. I don't know. I can't handle them right now. They're too skinny and hunched over.
Either. Yeah, it looks like they got some pretty, like, uncomfortable back problems.
Yeah, like all of them. They all have serious back issues.
My chiropractor would love to get her hands on them.
The female trolls, they stand up pretty straight.
They stand up straight, but they're still kind of hunched a bit, and their feet just bother me. All troll feet. Troll feet are just...
Oh.
Please let them
The one thing I noticed
shoes.
Is the whole Barons invasion. There's a vendor.
Please have shoes.
There's a vendor that has troll sandal transmog gear or whatever, where it just makes you barefoot. It makes your character barefoot.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on from troll feet.
Troll feet. All right, patch 5.3, troll feet. I think that was the actual thing. That was the name of it, right?
I thought it was patch 5.3, the uprising of the shrouded Troggs.
Maybe that's soon. Don't tell anyone. It's coming. That's coming right shrouded? Before the Emerald Dream.
Sorry for the spoiler.
It's going to be right before the Emerald Dream.
I hate Troggs so much.
What else happened in 5.3? I had a place I wanted to go with this, and no, I've lost it.
It's part of not being stiff anymore. We're just going where it takes us.
We're just a very flaccid podcast right now.
It's fine.
5.3, son of a...
Trogg.
Well, I know they changed some of the pet battle stuff. Like, they added a bunch of them, as you were saying before. They added them to Karazhan, to Serpentine Caverns and Tempest Keep. There's 4 in Karazhan and 3 in the other 2. And I think I'm like 3 or 4 pets short of having all of them already, which kind of cool.
Wow.
But most of them are just reskins and recolors, which I was kind of disappointed with. But, it's still kind of cool that they're going back and adding that kind of stuff. But the one thing that really frustrated me was they changed the legendary pet battles, which was part of the longest day ever and kind of why it took me so long, is I would kind of cheese those through with the Sprite Darter before, which we talked about last patch. But they reduced the health on them, and then to compensate for that, they reduced the damage that they take by like 50% or something like that. So they cut their health in half, but they also cut the damage that they receive in half to balance that out, which makes using the Sprite Darter pet almost ineffective on them because you can't just restore back to full health. So I actually had to come up with strategies to defeat each one and learning those on the fly, trying to power through. Yeah, basically. Because I would use 3 dragon pets and just destroy every makeup ever with the old system, and now I actually have to swap pets out and actually use pets accordingly now.
That's funny. Okay, so you've got me back on track. Thank you.
You're welcome.
With 5.3, that quest line, there was a reason I was talking about it. I knew it the whole time. There's a reason. when you do these quest lines, you have a chance at getting some new gear. One of them, there's a weekly quest for doing heroic scenarios. We have a chance of getting a 516 item. When you do the other part of this quest with Vol'jin and everything, you then get 502 boots, and they've added a bunch of ways for you to get these 476 epic items now. So with that, plus the fact that they've cut the leveling experience from 85 to 90 and half, it seems that they've decided to make this an alt-friendly expansion all of a sudden, which is pretty cool for me. And I think some, not so much indie, I guess, but I know a few of us really like the alt. A
lot of you guys are altaholics. I'll have one alt and be happy, but some of you guys have like one of everything, and I just get too distracted.
I'm not that insane. I have 3 90s currently, and I had a 88 monk going into this patch, and I like zoned to, I think it was Zangarmarsh. Is that what it is? Yeah, Zangarmarsh. To go into Serpentine Caverns, and crossing the border, I leveled to 89. And I was like, why? I wasn't that close. And then I was like, oh yeah, they reduced the XP.
Yep. Yeah, no, they've made it more, plus the reduction in reputation requirements for a lot of stuff. They finally, I think, made it to because one thing people had an issue with before was that it was pretty difficult to level alts and get them geared because of all the rep requirements that you needed to get certain gear, and it made more sense for you to run heroics, get justice points, convert them to honor points, get the PvP gear so that you could get into the LFRs, and it was this like weird gap, and plus the fact that it took quite a while to level 85 to 90, but they seem to have eased off and are now making it pretty accessible for people to level alts, which is cool.
Speaking of PvP too, I know that they added a completely new battleground, Deepwind Gorge. They added this patch as well, which I don't think any of us have stepped foot into yet, just because we haven't been playing that much. But that's something I think we should do. The 3 of us jump in there and see what that's all about, so we could talk about it next podcast.
Yeah, maybe we'll
definitely
that up next.
PvP.
Plus the fact that they made the gear, PvE gear, a little more viable for PvP.
Yep.
So we won't get in there and just get rolled over, which is nice. We won't be that good, but we'll still have some sort of a shot. So the other thing that this, reduced leveling requirements, ease of access to gear, have done was that people that have quit in the past can now come back, and it's pretty easy, which is something that I've done recently. I left for a while, came back, and it took me a little while to level my guys and finally get them some gear. Not a ton of time, but it took some considerable effort.
Yeah.
So it's easier to do that now. I think something maybe we'll hit on next week, because I think we're running out of a bit of time here. But it's a topic I think it affects a lot of people. Not everyone plays and has had a consistent subscription from day one till now. So I think we'll keep that for next week. And I'm sure it's a pretty interesting topic we can hit. I know this news section took us far longer than I thought it would. So there's also the stuff that we've done for shits and giggles this week, the non-WoW games that we've played, which would be, what have we done this week? I did a lot of XCOM, which is a game that I'm not sure you guys have played.
I watched you play it.
I watched you play as well.
Yeah, I've been streaming. Yeah. And a lot of the fun part for me is when I'm streaming, I get to rename the characters after people in my chat room. And it does things like gives them nicknames. And when they die, they die. There's no like, oh, no, I'll just revive him. Nope, they're dead.
We'll tell them all about my deaths.
Yeah, I apparently have Bizarro Xizta, and he won't die, regardless of what I do.
What the hell?
I can run him into the middle of a bunch of aliens, and they all miss, and somehow he comes out alive. So it's Xizta Rambo. I don't know. I can't kill him. I've tried. I can't. And then we have you, Indy, who shows up, couple missions in. I don't think you've hit an alien yet with a shot.
Because I'm a healer.
Yeah. And then you decide to be a sniper. Of all things, and you were by far the worst sniper I've ever had in that game.
Maybe she takes after her long loved Illidan, and maybe she's sniping blindfolded.
You're just you're a pacifist. It's weird.
It's so crazy. It's like the game knows that I'm just not cut out for DPS.
It's a lot of fun, and a lot of the people that I play with. I have to apologize to Sev if she listens to this, because I think I'm on Sev the 5th. I think she's died that many times. I don't know. I just can't keep her alive. Xizta needs to teach you something. Apparently, in this game, there's nothing I can do about it. So there's XCOM. It's a lot of fun. If no one's played it, check out the videos for it. Stop by my stream.
Watch him stream it. It's even more fun.
It's fun. It's a fun game. What else have we played this week?
What is it? Just twitch.tv/TheRealSophist?
Yeah, the Real Sophist. Don't go to the fake one. It's me. I'm the real one.
Yeah, there's only one. There is the Who's Going to Hell First game. Oh, right. It's Cards Against Humanity.
You guys had a lot of fun playing that. I did stop by and get to play 1 or 2 games of it. I did win one too, so that was fun.
I missed
we've been
one
playing a lot. I've been
one,
streaming it as well.
And then I won the last one, and I think Dom gave me my win. It's crazy because there's some answers that are in there that like pop up, and they're so bad that you just want to pick that card just to see who would say something so messed up. And so I think after unveiling some pretty rotten combinations, we've determined that we are definitely going to hell, he and I. I don't know about you because I've never seen you play, but we'll at least be able to keep each other company in hell.
Jeff Goldblum is Sophist. I win cards, so if you're ever playing against him, just if you have Jeff Goldblum, play it. Save it for Sophist.
Yeah, unless someone plays Troggs, then you might want to hold it.
Ooh.
Yeah, the game is super fun, and the fact that you can play it online with people that I didn't realize this until recently. So the fact that you can play it online with people for free is awesome. Like
with no install,
ton of fun.
I think the actual thing it's called Pretend You're Xizzy or something like that.
Huh? Maybe
that's the website, but it's Cards Against Humanity. It's all the card packs, like all the packs, all the expansions, and then some custom decks too. One of my favorite cards in there is something along the lines of getting inside the Herodric cube with a hot babe and pressing the transmute button.
Yeah,
like, I think maybe my god, I've yet to find somebody who can read the entire card without laughing.
There's
we
I think
have a
maybe
good time.
We'll tweet out the web address for this because it's something people should see. It's a lot of fun.
If any of us are streaming and we decide to throw together a game, it's fun to just kind of get together with everyone and play something that doesn't require too much effort, but it's still a lot of fun. So there's that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most of the time we play in the game, I usually make it so it's usually game name Xizta with the password Xizta, just so people from our chat room and people who know us can get in, but just random people from the game itself, because you could join anybody's random rooms in there. But so I usually put a password, just Xizta, really easy to remember, so you guys can get in.
Yep. Yeah, just say hi, just tell us who you are, and we'll be more than happy to play with people. So there's that. There's also, speaking of games that don't require a lot of effort, but this one's fairly frustrating and kind of a lot of fun. If you guys haven't seen Surgeon Simulator, another game you should check out. When Tom came up for the trip to Boston, we sat down, had a few drinks, and each took one of the controls and played through most of the game. Actually, no, we did beat the game.
We even did the level on the Mon.
Yeah, we beat Surgeon Simulator on the Mon.
Did we also perform brain surgery with a fire extinguisher?
We did. We performed brain surgery with a fire extinguisher. I think I killed someone in about 15 seconds. That was impressive. Yeah,
it's very surgically accurate too, isn't it?
If you want, yeah, I used to work in surgery, so I know it's pretty spot on.
You can only do surgery with one hand, correct?
It's
like
true.
That's a thing.
Yeah. Yep. Surgeons are only allowed to use one hand in real life. If you want to get an idea what this game is about, just take a look at Rage Quit's video on YouTube, and that'll give you an amazing idea what this is about.
The magic trick. That's my favorite part of that video.
And I think that does it for us this week. We don't want to, keep you too long and keep Dom's editing time to a minimum because he's pretty busy this week.
Yeah, the torture should fall on me for editing.
Mine won't be nearly as bad as Indy. Indy had a lot of work for the first one.
But now that we're just kind of being ourselves, it's much better, I think. It might not be as structured, but you guys, hey, why don't you send us some feedback, the listeners? Tell us if you like when we're a little bit more, what do you call it? Flaccid, Sophie?
Yes.
Sophie is very flatulent.
Flatulent?
I said flaccid, as in not being stiff.
Oh, sorry.
Get your mind out of the gutter.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, feedback, definitely. Also, do you want to just kind of let folks know where they can send questions?
Yeah, so I guess since this is about it for us this week, you can get in touch with me at The Real Sophist on Twitter, or my Twitch TV account would be /The Real Sophist. Just stop in, say hi. If you got a question for me, get it to me on Twitter, or even there, I'll write it down and save it somewhere, make sure we touch on it. Indy, your Twitter, do you have a...
Yeah, Twitter and Twitch, everything is Indy Garona, so it's real easy to remember.
Perfect.
And then Xizta, where are you at? Where can they get in touch with you?
You get me on twitch.tv and facebook.com/Xizta, one of those two. And you can get me on Twitter at Xizta with an underscore at the end.
Perfect. And then all of us, you can get us at _HXC on Twitter. And we do have an email now. So if you want to email us questions, Xizta, do you know off the top of your head what it is? I had it written down and I've lost it on this pile of awful mess.
My Trogg ate it.
No.
Apparently, my Trogg ate it. I know we have... Yeah, hold on, I tweeted it. Haha.
Aha.
Stall. Quickly.
So, how are you?
Dom, just add screaming Troggs while he looks.
Maybe I didn't tweet it.
No.
Maybe I'm bad at this. I swear I did. I'm really bummed that I thought I did this, and apparently it's not here.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm screwing this all up. I don't even know how an email is worded. What is this?
Here, I got it. Hold on. I got it.
I don't know how to read emails, apparently.
You don't know how to read.
I don't know how to
everyone.
do it. What's an email?
Alright guys, so Sophist is a little mixed up about how to read right now, so you could reach all of us with any questions or feedback regarding this podcast at podcast@thehxc.com. Now you can sign us off.
Cricket.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, that works. I can't read, so I'm doing this off the top of my head. This is for Indy, for Sophist, for Xizta. You guys, stay classy, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
I can't
Sweet.
read. I can't read.
Be just Jeff.